about to help you make the best decisions of your life. So if you are confused on how to take those next steps, especially because they scare the crap out of you, keep listening. Hi, I'm Moniaka, and I talk to you about career development, personal development, and finance. So today is really about when you need to make big decisions and you're unsure of what steps to take or what to consider while making those decisions. I'm going to give you a story to start this because, it's my thing. A year ago, I had to make a decision of whether I had to move countries and come to my current job. And first of all, it took me about 3 days to decide to do the application because I was terrified. One, about the kind of role I was moving into. I was moving into a higher position, I was moving into a different country, and I was moving into a different company. I felt like there was going to be so much to learn and so much to live up to. And I just was so unsure of myself and if this was going to be the right step for me. So it took me 3 days to decide to apply. And even after I applied and going through the interviews and getting the job, it still took me about another 2 days to accept the offer again because I was not sure if this was the best decision for me. Anyway, I have been in that role for about 16 to 18 months, and I think it has been the best decision and also the bravest thing I have done in my whole life combined. So if you find yourself in a similar situation and you're unsure of how to take your next steps, these are 3 things I believe you should consider that would be helpful to you. Number 1, get all the facts right. So this includes doing some research, getting all the information you can get about the decision you need to make. An example I'm going to use here is if you're trying to go into a new job, but you're not sure if it's the right decision, the right step to take, then all you need to know about the job you want to get, about the company, about the employees, about what the role entails. Do a skills assessment, see where it is you stand against what it requires. A skills assessment will actually help you decide if you're a good fit for that role and if you are ready to take that role. So the next one is a time assessment. Because sometimes something might be good for you, but it's just not the right time to be in it. So this will go hand in hand. The skill and the time assessment will go hand in hand. And then the 10th thing I think you should do, and I feel like it's really important on this point, is to sell it to yourself for or against, and then sell it to someone else who cares about you. So if you don't want to do it, sell it to yourself against. If you do want to do it, convince yourself on the 4 reasons why you should do it. And then whatever side of the divide you stand, go and find somebody who cares about you and loves you and sell it to them too and see what they have to say. Because once we start to vocalize something, we really start to hear ourselves. And sometimes you might be making a decision and then you try to sell it to somebody else and then you just think to yourself, that's stupid. Or what am I even saying? I can do this stuff. Or this is not right for me right now. But anyway, I'm saying somebody you love and somebody who loves and cares about you, by the way, because someone who cares about you is interested in your well-being, in your progress. They don't want to see you fail. They want you to get the best out of life. So they're always the best people to sell something, to try never to make decisions in isolation as much as possible, especially big decisions, because in the multitude of counsel, there is wisdom. And you want that wisdom of perspective of other people's opinion who care about you. So once you've done all this, the second thing you need to do and consider is to minimize negative voices in your life. And this is really important because there are so many people out there who will project their insecurities and their negativity on you. And if you assimilate those voices and those words, you will end up not doing the things that you should do and would have been good for you. So the big question here is, how do you decide what's a negative voice and who's not a negative? Because sometimes you might be getting genuinely good advice, but you think because it's not what you want to hear, then it is wrong. So a good test to do here is to think about the person who is giving this advice or, in quote, negative advice. Is it somebody who has a track record of giving good advice to other people, whose voice you trust, who speaks like they've got some insight, some great ideas? If they are, then it might be worth listening to what you're saying, because people have perspectives that we might lack, and we also want to be able to see that, a rounded picture of how things could be if we take that big step. The other thing I would consider looking at is when somebody is giving you good advice, they won't just be all, don't do it without reason. They will give you reasons why you think this might not be a good option for you, because they're trying to help you walk through that idea. So they'll give you good reasons, and they very also likely will give you alternatives that you can also explore. Give you a time frame. It won't just be something out there saying no or saying people have failed this, it's bad. They will try to be objective about the information they're giving you, so you have a better idea of what perspective you're coming from, and how to follow through with their thought process. And number three, you want to amplify the positive voices, because we all need some positivity in our lives. And I should add at this point that sometimes the negative voice and the positive voice might be the one in your head. It might not necessarily be people, it could also be you, which is why I go back to point one saying, get the facts right. Because when you take out sentimentality and emotions from a decision, you're stead with cold hard truth, and the facts can guide you in the decisions you need to make. So back to number three, amplify positive voices. You want people around you who actually encourage you, who believe in your abilities, who are confident about you, who know you well enough to know if you will succeed at something, and if you just need to give it more time, build more capacity before you go at it. So amplify those positive voices in your life. Otherwise, you will never get anything done unless you have some personal self-motivation. But I know that not sometimes you don't have motivation or self-belief. Sometimes in our lives they have. Even the most motivated person sometimes don't have self-motivation. So you want to be around people, or have at least a small community of people who can amplify and put in some positivity into your life. So if I had to make a decision today that was difficult for me, I like to bounce it off somebody else too, see what they are, get a pulse of what they're thinking. I like to get the facts right. I like to see what alternatives are out there. I like to silence people who like to shut things down without reason, simply because they are scared or they know someone who's done it before and who failed at it. And I like to amplify voices that give me some objectivity, some context, and who have proven to be willing to help and want to see me succeed. So if you're ever in this situation, this is something I think you should consider, and I hope that it helps you take that next big step in your life. And I hope this gives you some guidance on how to get things done. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.